This video is a little bit like a yap session, so grab a drink, do your laundry, whatever, and we're gonna talk about creativity from a perspective of a non-creative person. I actually never thought of myself as a creative person. Just recently at work, we had this team building activity and I was asked to come up with a team name. And my mind was just completely blank. Like I just thought of the most generic names ever. But that's why starting this YouTube channel has been so helpful, because with each video, I get to go through my own creative process. I get to learn that creativity is not a fixed trait, but rather a skill that I can build on. Before I even uploaded a single video, there were two main reasons why that made me hesitant to start YouTube. So first is feeling like I'm not a creative person. So I'm someone who loves structure, who loves to plan, who loves to know what's next. And I think because of that, starting something creative from scratch always made me feel afraid, because it feels like starting from a blank canvas. The second reason is privacy. Even though I'm a huge extrovert in real life, I know that I also like to keep certain parts of my life private. And for a big chunk of my life, I think I've just lived my life privately. I was scared that putting myself online means losing control over that. But from making my own videos and also observing how other creators are doing it, I realized that I can still create videos online without compromising my safety or my privacy. So with all of those doubts, why did I still start a YouTube channel? I'll share with you 5 reasons why, in hope that it gives you the courage to also start something or to keep going. So the first reason is that I wanted to practice developing my own opinions and stories. I was chatting to my colleague the other day. We were joking how it feels impossible to have an original thought. It's kind of funny, but it also made me think about how it's true that we get fed with so much content nowadays. If you speak more than one language like me, you get double the amount of content. I speak English and Vietnamese, so I see a lot of videos and news in both languages. So that means that I get to see a lot of content that I feel so inspired by it and comforted by, but also double the content that makes me feel like, what the hell did I just watch? That's why I feel like it's more important than ever for me to understand my own opinions and understand my own stories. And I love that with this channel, I get to sit down every week to think about what kinds of stories I want to tell. Whether it's about something I've learned in the past, or sharing my stories about feeling lonely when I moved to a new country, feeling confused about where home is after moving abroad for a long time, or just sharing my favorite Vietnamese restaurants in Toronto. I love that with each video I get to sit down and think through my thoughts. And I hope that these videos help other people feel seen or have good Vietnamese food recommendations. Basically just help other people in some meaningful way. The second reason is that I want to get better at creative problem solving. If I can boil down what creativity means, I think it just means solving open-ended problems. Sure, there's a checklist of things to film, A-roll, B-roll, adding music, adding sound effects. But usually for me, when I work on a video, it usually starts with a memory, a story, a feeling that I want to explore and develop that into something meaningful that I want to share. While I enjoy the skills that I learned from my non-creative 9-to-5 job, I think I'm also interested in a lot of other skills that my job doesn't offer, like video editing, storytelling, using AI tools to help with scripting. I feel like starting this YouTube channel is the perfect way for me to double down on the strengths that I already have, like my organizational skills and also my love for other people's stories and learning about people's thought process, and pair that with skills that I want to improve on, which is creative problem solving. Even in work settings, I find myself more interested in learning about why someone ended up in the current position that they are in, what they find challenging or exciting about their current role, and not just learning about what they do, not just learning about the technicals aspect. That's why I feel like as a beginner creator, something that I don't want to compromise on is storytelling. And that means to give context behind my thoughts, to put heart in the videos that I create. So bringing in the strength of talking to people and being insanely curious for stories helps me to feel motivated to work on the skills that I'm scared of, which is solving creative problems. For example, things like if I don't have enough B-rolls, how can I still tell that portion in my video in a way that's captivating enough to supplement that missing B-roll? or how can I add music in a way that it conveys the feeling that I want to translate in my videos. And over time, I realized that, oh, like, I think this is creativity. It's less about being naturally creative and naturally gifted with something, but rather to get to know these creative problems face to face, to get stuck, to try again, and to push through many times. If you like to challenge yourself intellectually, I think this is perfect for you, because you will see that doing something creative is not easy, but it can be incredibly fun and fulfilling. The third reason is doing something for myself. For a long time, I feel like a lot of my value and identity has been surrounded by work. I also grew up in Vietnamese culture, and a lot of our values come from praising hard work. And I think because of that, I was really obsessed with wanting to be the best, wanting to do the best. But I've realized that each time when I get there, I always get hit with this question of, now what? What's next? And even though I get stuck in this loop of like chasing after what I thought I wanted, getting there and doing that over and over again. And even then, I was still so scared of listening to myself, afraid to admit to myself that maybe what I was chasing was not what I wanted. Not saying this in a way that I should like go out and like quit my job the next day, but rather just explore new things, just try new things, try things that scare me. I don't want to discredit my achievements either, but I feel like they don't tell the full story of a person. This is something that I have spent years and years thinking about, so I'm also being very careful with how I'm sharing it now. But I think it's something worth talking about, because I feel like a canon event that many people in their 20s and 30s experience is realizing that work isn't everything, and work shouldn't be everything. With this YouTube channel, I feel so insanely proud of myself for starting something just for me. I don't know where it will go, but I'm just so excited and just so glad that I started this. And I feel like starting YouTube gives me the space to feel inspired and to inspire other people without the same sense of jealousy. Oh, the sun is so strong. Without the sense of jealousy or comparison that I get with other platforms. I think because YouTube requires you to post like longer content, it also gives me more context into someone's thought process, and that helped me to relate to them more rather than being quick to judge. On my YouTube algorithm these days, I've been recommended a lot of videos of people in traditionally prestigious jobs like finance, tech, healthcare, talk about their work burnout. A lot of them share about for years they've been chasing this version of themselves that they thought they should be. And I'm so glad that they shared their journeys on YouTube, because I feel like if I was watching an Instagram reel about that, I might be thinking about like, oh, like they must have made enough money so that they can now explore other side quests or other hobbies. But because they share it on YouTube, I get to understand more about their story, to understand that for some people, they might have already achieved financial security. They were still scared of trying something new, maybe because they were afraid of losing the sense of identity that they had for so long. I also relate so much to that, because I too have also been chasing so much of what I thought I should want. And I didn't stop to ask, what do I actually want? Not like what I want forever, but just what I want at this point. What I want right now is just to also make videos that feel uniquely mine alongside with my day job. I think like that's the whole point. Like whatever journey that you are on, it might seem not that significant to some other people, but I feel like if it's important to you, it's definitely worth it to just try it out. Something unexpected from me making videos is that I've also been able to give myself more credit and give myself more grace. Before starting, I always thought that if you start something meaningful and personal to you, you will always feel like motivated 100% of the time, right? But the truth is, no, like definitely no. I noticed that my motivation and my energy levels definitely fluctuate throughout the week, juggling with my day job, house chores, family, social life. I realized that I will not always feel 100% motivated or 100% my best every single day to work on these videos. But because of that, I think I've been able to give myself more credit when I show up, when I work on my stuff. Which is why I feel like with my current posting cadence, it helps me to create videos that I like while also having the time to experience life outside of YouTube and also celebrating my effort rather than being mean to myself. The fourth reason is that I want to remember this chapter of my life. So before living in Toronto, I was in Montreal for 4 years. So much of what I remember is so clouded by the emotions that I have, both positive and negative emotions. And now with the daily rhythm of life, I feel like life can just zoom by so fast. So these videos are a way for me to remember my life, to remember not just what I was doing, but also what I was thinking about, what is important to me at the time, what I was interested in. Part of the reason why I kept my life offline for so long, partly because I wanted to just experience life privately first, but also because I was scared of being misunderstood, being scared of what I was saying being taken out of context. But now I think making these videos and also observing other creators, I learned that these videos, they're more a snapshot of what I was thinking, what I was feeling at the moment, and not just a reflection of myself like forever. Because I know that people grow and people change. But with all of that said, I still think that it's important to not replace content creation with actually living and experiencing life for yourself. Like I mentioned before, I lived in Montreal for 4 years before moving to Toronto. And if I was a character in the movie, I feel like there were so many crazy character arcs and story development in those 4 years. Like moving to a new country, starting from scratch, going from having a lot of friends to not having anyone, feeling lonely. I've had moments where I feel like, maybe I should have started YouTube at a time when I started uni, because I feel like uni vlogs are super popular. But looking back, I feel like I'm so glad I didn't, because those are the years where I had to live my life privately, to understand what my values are, to understand what I like, what I vibe with, so that now when I share my life online with you, I still have a sense of who I am. I think because I live a big chunk of my life privately, now that I started creating and sharing my life online, I know that I want to create from a place of wanting to remember, from a place of wanting to share meaningful stories that I think can help other people, to continue learning skills that I want to develop, and to just vibe and post things that I feel genuine and want to create. The fifth reason is that I actually love that I don't know everything right now. With each video, when I look back, I feel like, oh, I wish that I could add that one more thought. But it also tells me that even though my videos right now are not perfect, it tells me that there is still so much to learn. And that is so exciting to me, because I know that I don't have to be an expert to still share things that are meaningful. Starting YouTube has also taught me to take myself less seriously, to focus more on the progress and the process rather than being obsessed over perfection. That mindset shift has been huge for me, because as I have shared before, I've always had this desire to be the best, to plan something to a T before even executing. Now, starting YouTube, I always had to remind myself constantly that showing up is always better than over planning and not doing anything at all. It also makes me realize that sometimes it's not that deep. No one is good on their first try. No one is good in every platform. Recently, I was listening to some podcasts of my favorite short form creators, and they were sharing that starting YouTube for them is actually a beast, which is really surprising to me, because I thought that with the skills of captivating audience in short form, they would excel at making long form YouTube videos. To me, short form is actually the beast, because I have to condense like everything I learned in like a 30-60 seconds video. And I've always really enjoyed YouTube. I've learned so much from the creators here. I feel like I actually retain what I watch. So I figured, like, why not start with the platform that I already feel so inspired by, and the platform where I would still create videos even with slow growth and delayed gratification. In the future, when I watch these videos again, I know I'll be like cringing a little bit, but I think that's okay, because I'm still so proud of myself, because I didn't wait to be perfect to start. Now, when I think back about a team building activity that I shared at the beginning, where I was tasked to come up with a name for my team, I realized that I couldn't think of a good name, not because I wasn't creative. It's simply because I didn't have that many practice of coming up with funny, creative names yet. So starting this YouTube channel has really helped me to understand that creativity really is a process. And to notice my growth with each single video has been really motivating to me, because I know that like finally I'm starting something fun for myself. So I hope that this video helps you to find that curiosity and spark to start something, or keep going, or even pick up a creative outlet that you once set aside. If you want to hear more about my thoughts on creativity, I've made this previous video on why I think the most personal is the most creative, so definitely check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in 2 weeks time.